There's a rise in erectile dysfunction because so many young men are consuming porn.
Sex is the word most people search for on the net. No wonder it's a billion-dollar industry.
Frequent use of pornography consumption also is associated with impaired cognitive control and a reduced ability to maintain attention on tasks. Duh, that's a thing that we want to avoid. But now you have a library of unlimited adult content via your cell phone.
10 years ago, people got their porn the old-fashioned way.
Now you can go to the internet and it's literally just a click of a mouse away, isn't it?
Yep, it's just growing every year.
And so it's harder to just focus on one thing when we have a screen here, everywhere we go. And controlling our focus is what's going to allow us to become successful in everything that we do. And the number one thing that distracts human beings from staying locked in is one thing and one thing only: sex. We're living in a world that is dedicated to making you fail. And the only way to win is the formula that I'm going to give you in today's video. So let's get into it. If you look at Maslow's hierarchy of need, you see that food, shelter, water, safety, security are all things that we need before we look for emotional intimacy. And in today's society, while our basic desires are very satisfied, our need for reproduction is at an all-time high. But the ways that we go about acquiring a reproductive status has greatly changed. A lot of times, while people might say they're focused on their careers, they're focused on the way they conduct themselves in an effort to increase their reproductive capability in today's mating pool. So I'm going to really focus on the guys here. Women also suffer from this, but this video is mainly dedicated to men. Because as men, we need to produce. As men, we need to dominate. We need to grow. We need to be so locked into our goals to build a lifestyle to attract the woman of our dreams. But it's becoming really hard for us to do because our sex drive is being pulled and bombarded by so many different things. It's no surprise that men suffer from lust way more than women do. And a lot of people debate this with me, but I'm just going to break it down very simply for you. You can do your own research on this topic, but the idea that men have a larger sex drive than women has been documented by many peer-reviewed articles. I'm going to go into two major reasons why. Number one, testosterone. Testosterone is a hormone primarily responsible for the libido of men and women. Women have testosterone, and a lot of people think that women are just filled with estrogen. No, it's not true. One of the biggest things that you can see in women that try to transition, and if they have gender dysphoria, is that when they start taking testosterone, their sex drive goes out of control. They have never experienced such a lust in their lives. A healthy male has about 10 to 20 times the amount of testosterone as compared to his female counterparts. So testosterone as a whole increases the male sex drive. And second, from an evolutionary standpoint, men have a higher sex drive to maximize their reproductive capability. Men reproduce by quantity, while women reproduce by quality. And it's the natural dance of these two selection factors that really allows women to pick the best man and the best man to really proliferate amongst a bunch of women. Now in today's modern society, a lot of people are coupled up regardless of their reproductive fitness, regardless of their status in society, because people can really fill in to where they see fit. But back in the day, the guy that was the top was reproducing with all the women, and the men that really weren't doing anything never got a chance to reproduce at all. So what is the kryptonite? What is the number one thing that is knocking men off their game more than ever before? Well, it's pretty obvious, but if you don't know, I'm gonna spell it out for you. Adult content. I would say that 99% of all men have watched porn at some point in their lives, and I would say over 90% of men currently watch porn till this day. On average, men spend about 2 hours a week watching adult content, and I know from a lot of personal situations and dealing with men and working with men, it can be a lot more. But even just 2 hours a week can really add up. I mean, if you do the math there, that 2 hours can be used to learning a language, organizing your life, doing your laundry, meal prepping. There's a ton of things that you could be doing with that time that could make you more efficient as a human being. But honestly, the time that they're spending is not the biggest issue. It's more the psychological damage that occurs when you watch adult content. I'm gonna read you some conclusions that they have from studies here. Research shows that frequent pornography use is linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and emotional distress. Adult content has been something that's been wreaking havoc amongst all men, and it's something that destroys their lives. Higher pornography use is linked to lower relationship satisfaction and higher rates of infidelity, contributing to emotional instability. Honestly, I think that just watching porn in itself is infidelity because you're watching another woman naked, a woman that's not your woman, and you're giving your sexual energy to these pixels on the screen in an effort to create some kind of mating situation in your head. You've trained yourself to watch people get off in the act than actually do it yourself. So when you actually do it yourself, you don't know what to do. You're supposed to get aroused by her scent, by her touch, by the actions, by the words, by the chemistry between you. But what you're doing is you're habituating your mind to become aroused by friction and lotion in your hand. And so that causes a lot of men to not even be attracted to real women, which is literally one of the biggest mental blocks to living your life. Kind of crazy when you think about it. We are designed to reproduce. I mean, this is supposed to be the best thing ever. But porn overall is just so bad for you because it messes up your reward centers. Nobody wakes up on a day-to-day basis saying, man, I really am excited to jerk off today, and then they jerk off and they feel accomplished by it. That doesn't happen. It rewires your brain's chemistry to become attracted to pixels on a screen and not real emotional stability within a relationship and real romance, which is something that you need to live a happy, healthy, and stable life. Remember I was talking about how many screens we have in today's world? Well, all those screens can display porn. Back in the day, you had to find a magazine or some kind of picture, and that would arouse you. I remember Blockbuster, where you weren't supposed to go as a kid, but I always wandered over there, and they would have adult films, XXX rated, that you could rent and watch. But now, you are literally a walking porn library that you can access anytime you want via your cell phone. Masturbation, by far, is so addictive. In my opinion, it's the most addictive thing. And if you don't believe me, understand this. 30% of all searches on the internet is dedicated towards adult content. The industry itself is over $100 billion in net worth. That is mind-blowing. This addiction to the dopamine spike that we get from watching porn is absolutely devastating. And it's causing the men of our generation to not be men anymore. Men work to acquire the attention of women. But why would you need to work when you can just flick on your computer and say hi to your internet girlfriend? Even worse today, there's AI-generated pornography that's making it even crazier to get that kind of sexual release. Pornography addiction is very, very hard to get off of. I honestly don't think the average man is even remotely equipped with the resources that he needs to get away from this. It took me years to get myself off of watching adult content. The first thing I recommend that everybody does, whether you're addicted to porn or not, is to have a digital detox once a month. This is a day where you get away from all the screens. You get away from picking up the phone and you just have a day to yourself, whether it's reading a book, whether it's cooking, whether it's going on walks, and you do as much as you can to stay away from the screens. These days provide a challenge for me and they recenter me as a human being on what matters the most. Take as much time as you can and go back to who you really are. Okay, so we've already established that watching porn is the worst thing that you can do as a man. And now I'm going to teach you how to stop watching porn. There's a lot of courses out there on the internet about this stuff, but I'm going to give you the game right now for free. So get a notepad and pen and write this stuff down because this is super important. If you're finding yourself under a blanket jerking off with a bottle of lotion next to yourself, it is time to sit down and change your life. If you want to stop watching porn, there are 4 things that you need to do. Number 1 is finding a purpose. Number 2 is creating discipline. Number 3 is creating a balanced lifestyle. And the last step that I'm going to give you is not chasing women. Sounds backwards, but it's a secret formula that I'm going to share with you at the end of this video. So let's talk about finding purpose. You have to have some kind of purpose in your life. And your purpose isn't having fun. Your purpose is creating a legacy that you can leave behind to your family. So when someone says your name, they have to assign it to something. It has to have weight. Back in the day, it used to be Sir John, son of Arthur, and there was weight behind your name. Nowadays, we don't have that. So it's time for you to jump back into what makes you great. Besides women, besides having a nice car or a nice house or nice watches, it's about what can you create, not only in your life for yourself, but for other people and your community. If you don't know where to start with your purpose, think about the one thing that you would like to share with people in the event that you die. At your funeral, what should people remember you by? What is the impact that you want to have on this world? You need to have a purpose because that purpose is what's going to fuel your motivation and keep you focused on what you need to do. Number 2, having discipline. Discipline is doing what you need to do and loving it when you don't want to do it. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you to do when it comes to having discipline is to delete all the porn on your computer, on your cell phone, kill all the tabs, and all your subscriptions to adult content sites. And this step is really hard for a lot of guys. That is right there showing you how addicted you are to this behavior. It's your drug, it's your addiction, and getting rid of it can be hard. In addition to that, I want you to install apps on your phone that prevent you from going to adult sites. There's certain programs like Safe Search that you can use to prevent yourself from seeing adult content. I don't want you to put it off to tomorrow or the week after. I want you to start right now, today. The best time to plant the tree was probably 20 years ago, but the second best time is to start right now. The third thing that I'm gonna tell you to do, and this is something that most people don't understand, is to kill off all the soft porn that you have in your life. Don't know what I'm talking about? Well, it's really on social media. Going on social media, you can see more skin on a woman today than our male ancestors have seen their entire lives. We live in a culture today where showing off your butt, your body, pushing your bra out is very socially acceptable. And I'm not here to say that women shouldn't be able to do this, but it really damages you as a male if you're constantly looking at this stuff. Not to mention, so many girls I know personally are doing adult content but don't classify it as that. They have a spicy link in their bio to OnlyFans or some kind of adult site. So that's an invitation to adult content itself just from social media. This is scary to see, and most people don't understand the risks it has on you as a man, but not only that, on her as a human being and her value in the dating marketplace. Last thing I'm gonna say is a lot of us watch porn at night. So when you go to sleep, put your phone in the living room. This is really hard for a lot of people to do because they feel like, oh, what if someone calls me? What if it's an emergency? But just turn your ringer on and put your phone in the living room, and trust me, you'll probably hear it and you'll probably go if someone's blowing your phone up. Number 3, you need to have a happy, fulfilled lifestyle. And the way that you're gonna have a lifestyle filled with joy and happiness is by delaying gratification and avoiding short-term pleasure in the things that you do. We can get a lot of things very quickly right now. If I want to order some food, I can Uber Eats it. If I want to binge watch a TV show, I no longer have to wait every Thursday to watch it. I can just put on Netflix and watch it whenever I want. That is insane that our world has gone to this, and I'm glad that it's gone to this. Trust me, it brings me a lot of joy. But it's important to understand that real relationships, real intimacy, and real growth in life takes time. And it takes a lot of focus, and it takes a lot of you doing the things that you don't want to do in an effort to get the results that you want. Another delaying gratification hack I have is to just wait before you eat food. Sometimes when I get a meal and I'm really hungry, especially when I'm really hungry, I will wait a minute and just stare at the food. I'll kind of torture myself. And this sounds weird, but it allows me to really appreciate everything that I have. You don't even understand how grateful you can be as a human being when you're super hungry and you have a plate of mediocre food in front of you. So sometimes just delaying your access to the normal things that you have will really make you more resistant to distractions. The last thing that I'm gonna tell you that helps me delay my gratification is taking cold showers. There is so much research into cold showers. I could make a whole video on this in itself, but cold showers are something that I don't wanna do every single morning. But I walk into that ice cold tundra knowing I don't wanna do it, but it's good for your mind because it's doing something that you don't want to do. Next thing I'm gonna say when it comes to balancing your lifestyle is diet and exercise will literally change your life. I cannot stress this enough, it's super obvious, but if you don't have your diet and exercise in order, you need to start right now. Working out on a day-to-day basis will improve your dopamine levels, which will keep you away from masturbation. Exercise reduces stress and anxiety, which are common triggers for masturbation as a coping mechanism. It also exhausts you. You get tired after you exercise. Trust me, have a crazy workout in the morning and watch how fast you hit the bed at night. It's really good to be tired when you hit the bed instead of full of energy so that you go on your phone and that you're stressed out and you're anxious and then you start watching adult content. Eating omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, vitamins, and just healthy food in general will improve your mental well-being, which reduces masturbation because you feel better. Maintaining a structured exercise routine and a healthy diet can instill discipline and provide a sense of control over one's bodies and one's behaviors, aka masturbation. Most of us don't plan to masturbate. That impulsive behavior comes up because you're stressed, you're anxious, so having that routine, that structure is going to be super helpful to stop you from engaging in that behavior. And last but not least, alcohol in itself reduces inhibition, which leads to an increased rate of masturbation, and drug use is linked to a higher use of pornography, adult content, and perverse sexual behaviors. So cutting away from all the negativity in your life will cut away from the masturbation and the pornography addiction, which will allow you to become more focused as an individual. A lot of people don't have productive hobbies today. Whether that's yoga, whether that's running, whether that's playing a musical instrument, you need to have something that you can do that can stimulate you in ways that are healthy and productive. For me, my hobbies are my businesses that I run, such as this podcast itself that I love doing. And any time that I have that's free, I dedicate towards bringing content towards you guys. The last thing I'm gonna say when it comes to stopping pornography addiction is not chasing women. Okay, I know you guys are like, this is completely backwards. What do you mean I shouldn't chase women? What am I gonna do? Hear me out, let me land. So when you don't chase women when it comes to pornography addiction, and you're not chasing women in real life, all you have left to do is to focus and grow yourself. That is the number one thing that you need to be doing as a man. And women know how to find successful men. They can smell the blood in the water. Elite level women loves a man that is focused, that is driven, that is dedicated towards his purpose and creating legacy. So when you're a man that starts doing that, even if you're doing it for a couple months, watch the amount of women that will come out of the woodworks, start swiping up on your stories, that will start commenting on your Instagram posts and say, hey, like, you've really changed. Hey, I've noticed you've been doing this, that, and the third. Hey, what are you doing later? You see, there's a lack of men that are focused, that are dedicated, that are driven, that are disciplined, that have a balanced lifestyle, that have purpose in their life. Ask yourself, if you were her, would you date you? Are you the best option that she can get? And if you have any hesitation with that answer, you need to do better. So when you have these things, oh my God, women are gonna be attracted to you. And when you don't chase women and you attract them instead, that's when you won the lottery right there. And this is where this video ends. This is where I give you the harsh reality of life. The game is not built for everyone to win. Not everybody can have the dream woman that they want. Not everybody can win in the dating and reproduction game, especially as men. In theory, only the top 10% of guys are going to win. And that's very unfortunate. So what do you do with this information? Do you sit here and cry and try to make the world a fair place? Because that's really not going to work out for you very well. What you do have is an edge right now by watching this video, by learning more about yourself, by learning how to focus. And if you can become in the top 10% of that category, you're gonna find that life is very, very fun. I hope this video was helpful for you guys and it opened your mind up a little bit to the possibilities that you can have as a man. If you haven't done so already, hit that bell notification to stay on top of all of our videos. Follow me on social media, and if you ever need one-on-one coaching, the link is down in the description below. I appreciate you guys and love you guys, and I appreciate you for watching this video and sharing a little bit of your day here with me. Until next time, guys, Sumi out.